Hello Year 12 and Year 13 and welcome to this week's virtual assembly. If I haven't seen you yet in person, Happy New Year. On Friday, on my way home from school, I caught a radio programme on Radio 4 called Last Word. The programme focuses on the lives of notable people who have recently passed away, and I was really interested to learn more about the life of April Ashley, who sadly died on the 27th of December. It got me thinking back to the excellent trans awareness PowerPoint our school's hero group created before Christmas, and I thought I'd share what I'd learned about this remarkable trans woman with you all. April Ashley was a transgender model and pioneer who modelled for Vogue and partied with the likes of Mick Jagger and John Lennon in the 1960s. She really lived in a time where trans people had no legal recognition, and she was seen by many as an early role model because of her public presence in a time of limited discussion concerning gender. She was born in Liverpool in 1935 with the name George Jameson before it became her dead name once she transitioned. Unfortunately, she was bullied at school, but thought that was actually the making of her inner strength and resilience later in life. She enrolled in the Merchant Navy at 16, but had a terrible time there because of her identity. And following her departure from the Navy, she was subjected to electroconvulsive therapy at a psychiatric unit. This therapy, also known as ECT, which some of you might have heard of, is a treatment that involves sending an electric current through someone's brain, causing electric activity similar to a seizure. It is still used today, but it was used unethically in the past and far more commonly in the 1950s and 70s. Of scientific interest, April Ashley actually started spontaneously transitioning without any hormonal intervention. She started developing breasts and a higher pitched voice completely naturally. She moved to Paris, and there she began a dancing career, but she also underwent surgery to help with her transition. In fact, she's one of the earliest British people known to have had sex reassignment surgery. She then came back to London, and her remarkable beauty and reputation as a model meant she joined high society, and she was really sought after in popular social circles. In 1961, she was outed, though, to a tabloid newspaper, and because of this, many of her contracts stopped because of the prejudice of the time. She relocated many times in her life. She then, after London, moved to Spain, followed by Hay-on-Wye and then San Diego, where she then kept a low profile for a while. She said at this time that she felt in limbo because she didn't feel her identity was recognised by popular society. Experiencing some horrible discrimination, she had to endure treatments such as being poked in the chest or having her hair pulled. In the late 1990s, she moved back to France and came back into the public eye. And then in 2005, thanks to the Gender Recognition Act, she managed to obtain a birth certificate that confirmed her as a woman. This was the most progress April Ashley had ever achieved in her lifetime. From that point, she continued to campaign for transgender rights, making great strides in the field and inspiring many people. She also lectured at Oxford and appeared on talk shows, having her voice heard after many years of silence. She was awarded an MBE in 2012 for services to transgender equality and awarded a Lifetime Achievement Honour at the European Diversity Awards in 2014. I thought learning about this woman was very fascinating, and if you'd like to learn more about April Ashley, there are so many great sources online, but I definitely start by listening to the Last Word programme. That's available on BBC Sounds on the link and the screenshot on the screen right now, and that's really where I can cite most of the information I relayed to you today. So I just thought I'd start off by telling you about somebody interesting that some of you may have not heard about before. Moving forwards then, I just want to make sure that everybody's clear on some of the COVID updates that we've had since returning to term after the Christmas holidays. So as we were doing before Christmas anyway, remember to continue to wear masks in all indoor spaces, including your classrooms, and please try to stay on top of sanitising as often as possible. With the Omicron variant going around and being very transmissible, then it's important we all try and keep each other safe and try to avoid as much disruption to your education as possible. Also a reminder, the lateral flow tests are available in the study room for Mrs. Perks. It's recommended that you do a test 3 times per week, so on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday before school. And if you pick up 1 box from Mrs. Perks, then this should see you through for a fortnight, as there are 7 tests in each box. Also, just a reminder as well that there are new testing and isolation rules in Wales. So now, if you have no symptoms, then you just need to use lateral flow tests. And even if you test positive on a lateral flow test, if you have no symptoms, then you still need to isolate if you're positive, but you don't need to seek a PCR. However, if you are displaying symptoms as well, with or without a positive lateral flow test, then it is recommended you go and get a PCR and again isolate if positive from that test. Obviously, if there are any positive tests and if you need to notify us of any isolation dates that are going to affect you, then please email the school or attendance at radyr.net, ideally copying in Dr. Rowe and myself so we're aware. And obviously, if you are able to isolate, if you're feeling ill, then we expect you to rest and recuperate and get yourselves better. If you're having to isolate but feel otherwise well at home, then it's important that you're staying in contact with your teachers and catching up on any missed work. Apart from COVID updates then, there are obviously a few great opportunities that Dr. Rowe has booked in for the remainder of January. We had a couple of brilliant things on last week and we've got some more going forward. So this Tuesday on the 11th of January, just a reminder that we've got another geography taster session run by the University of South Wales. This one is on the topic of volcanoes, and everybody that's taking geography at AS and A level should definitely be at this talk, and especially those considering studying geography at a higher level. This should prove to be a really interesting talk. Now, also then next week on Tuesday, the 18th of January, we've got a former student, Amy Shefford, who's also delivering a talk on her experiences of studying at the University of Exeter, and then also experiences of studying medicine. Medicine is obviously what she studies at Exeter, but she will be talking about both separately. So if you are either interested in studying at Exeter or interested in studying medicine, then this would be a really fantastic talk for you to come along to. Equally, the next day, on Wednesday the 19th, we also have another taster session by the University of South Wales, this time a history taster session. So again, we expect all of our historians to attend this, and this should be of real use to anybody thinking of applying for history at university as well. But also for general historians, there might be some great stuff that overlaps with your current courses. So this is going to prove to be very interesting. Now, apart from the talks that Dr. Rose booked in for the rest of the month, that are going to be run on Teams, okay, then please keep an eye on Dr. Rowe's emails, because there are many other opportunities as well. There's lots of things concerning apprenticeships and also degree programs and also careers. So no matter what you're thinking of doing or you're not sure about doing after sixth form at the moment, there's bound to be something out there for you that you can get involved in. So please keep an eye out on these emails. Also maybe just search for keywords if there's particular things you're looking out for, to make sure you haven't missed anything. And one last thing that I just want to remind students about before we finish is the final Ucas deadline. I'm just going to go back for some reason. Some of the text isn't appearing on that slide, unfortunately. But the Ucas final deadline has been extended this year because of the pandemic, and it's now on Wednesday, the 26th of January. That's at 6 p.m. So that is the cut-off point that they expect all remaining undergraduate degree applications to be in by. Obviously, if you still haven't submitted your Ucas application, then you need to give Dr. Rowe or myself, whoever is your referee, plenty of time to process that before the date of the 26th. So really, you're just looking at the next 2 weeks to try and get that sorted, okay? Most people have sent theirs off now. We're seeing some fantastic offers coming in. So if you are still thinking of applying and have yet to do so, it's time to get cracking. Apart from that, then, that's all I need to talk to you about this week, year 12 and year 13. So that'll bring us towards the end of our assembly. Please have a fantastic week, your first full week back, sorry, after Christmas. And if there's anything you need any support or help with, please talk to your form tutors, come and see the sixth form team. And we look forward to starting this new spring term with you. Take care, everybody.